Hi everybody, this is John Murray. CFAPS 7865 just did a fascinating video presenting his theory that the Great Pyramid identifies the location of Atlantis. I'll leave a link below to his video, which I encourage you to watch in conjunction with this video. He says the Giza Plateau and legend from Egypt says that Atlantis may be due west, and that the 51-degree slope of the Great Pyramid tells us to look 51 degrees due west of the Giza Plateau, where we find a sunken island. It makes sense to me that the highly clever Atlantans may have done something as this. This is an interesting theory. However, I think it needs a specific refinement, and then it becomes a fascinating and immensely important theory, if true. In one sense, it is illogical because Atlantis was reportedly a continent, or at least a very large island. So if it was due west of Giza and 51 degrees in distance, how could you define that exact point, that is 51 degrees away, as the location of all of the entire island or continent of Atlantis? You obviously could not do so. However, if you refine his theory to potentiate that the Atlantans weren't telling us the location of their large continent that sank per se, but rather were telling us the location of something immensely vital and specific on their sunken continent. X marks the spot, if you will. Then CFAP's theory suddenly makes eminent sense and bursts out into the sunlight. And what might that X spot the mark denote? Something of immense value to the distant future to us? Else, why build such a massive Giza Plateau to signal its location, right? Let's think about that. I think a lot of you probably are already thinking what I have been thinking. Casey said that there were 3 places on Earth with repositories of the Atlantean records, and one of them was where? Drum roll, Atlantis. So if CFAP's theory is correct, that the 51-degree pyramid slope represents distance to X, then X is much more likely to tell us precisely where, on the huge continent or island of Atlantis, we can find the Atlantean pyramid with the 3rd Hall of Records inside of it. If you think about it, what could possibly be more important for us, the future, to find? Especially since those records likely tell us how mankind, for eons of time over the course of the development of Atlantis, survived what Dr. Schock has described as cyclic solar plasma waves hitting approximately every 11 to 13,000 years, and as further discussed in my videos. What would be more important to leave records of and science of? Nothing would be more important. Nothing. Interestingly, the Atlanteans would have no idea what units of measure the future would use. And so how do they tell us how far away west to look from the Giza Plateau? They had no concept of miles then. To tell us where to look, they therefore devised to leave the distance, if this theory is correct, not as a unit of set measure, but as a percentage of a circle's degrees. Ergo, irrespective of what unit of measure the future, us, may use, the Atlanteans needed not know that. Whether it was 51 degrees, or 26 Plutarchs, or 12 rabbits, or whatever we, the future, might call it or how we might define it was irrelevant, because it would be all proportional units of measure the future, us, use to describe a globe, our globe, the Earth in this case, as well as what we had used to describe the slope of the Great Pyramid at Giza. It would all be the same unit of measure. It was brilliant and a clever maneuver by the pyramid builders. CFAP points out that the island he located in the Atlantic is 51 degrees away from the Giza Plateau. The angle slope of the Great Pyramid is slightly more than 51 degrees. It is 51.4 degrees. CFAPS seems to dismiss the 0.4 degrees difference, but I don't think that is the correct tack to take in this theory. The Atlanteans did not make mathematical errors or approximations. They were exact in their mathematics and science, if anything. So if this theory is correct, then the sunken pyramid with the third hall of records in it is likely slightly west of the island CFAPS points out, west by precisely 0.4 degrees on the floor of the Atlantic Ocean. Deep sea diving, anybody? I almost forgot, as a PS to this video, ancient architects recently did an interesting video titled The Lost Ancient Egyptian Observatory of Letopolis. I think I might know what that tower and observatory were, and other purposes for it, in addition to those outlined by ancient architects. And it's really cool. And in fact, I think I know approximately, if not precisely, how tall that structure was. So please stay tuned to my channel and subscribe, and you'll get to hear my theory. Thanks. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit the bell, and forward this to all your friends.